Have you been trying to go forward on your twin flame journey, but you still feel bound, trapped, and tangled with your twin and rerouted back to them before it feels like you can experience inner peace and happiness? Stay tuned because I'm going to share with you 3 ways that will help you find peace with your twin flame. Let's go! Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Harmony. I'm a twin flame expert helping twin flames around the globe face fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Welcome to my weekly glow show. Today's topic is I'm going to share with you 3 ways in order for you to make peace with your twin flame. It is very important as we go forward in this new earth, the new way to love, our new identities, and having done so much inner work, to be able to find peace with the twin flame and the twin flame journey. And until you do, you cannot fully go forward because it's going to keep you in what I call a twin flame maze that basically, no matter how much you try to go forward, you're being roped back in to the situation, to the experience in order to finish your lesson that you chose to learn as a primary lesson with your twin flame. Now, just like we chose our parents, we also chose our twin flame to teach us multiple lessons. But in this particular life, we also, what I've been shown is we chose to learn a major lesson that is the same lesson between the 2 of you, that is either on opposite ends of the polarity or the exact same thing, or one's triggering the other one, but the lesson, the underlying component of it is the same lesson. In order to be able to master that lesson, to bring harmony within yourself and the peace within yourself, which is what you have to do in order to find peace with your twin flame. So let's dive into the 3 ways that you can find inner peace with your twin flame and the journey. So the first thing you need to do is you need to discover how to get out of the corner. And what I mean by that is you came here to learn a major life lesson with your twin flame. And in that major life lesson, basically just like your parents, you chose your life lessons, it's a lesson that ends up being exactly the same lesson between the 2 of you of the underlying component. And let's just say, I'll use mine for example, that it is about the throat and about coming out in a bigger, bolder way, sharing, and one being ready and one not, and one being seen and one not. Okay, so that's really the same lesson at the end of the day. It's just coming at it from an opposite polarity, opposite spectrums, and then how do you bring balance to that, so to speak, but the way you bring balance is within yourself, and then that's the only thing you got to worry about. That's the only thing you got to pay attention to, because that frees you up and helps you get out of the corner so that you can stop being trapped in your maze that recycles you back to learn that lesson from your twin flame, which is the twin flame maze that I keep being shown. And so basically, just to kind of recap that, to get out of the corner with your twin flame, which is what I'm saying is the number 1 way here, you need to discover what that lesson is that's the major primary lesson they're teaching you, but it will also link to their major primary lesson, and you guys are in checkmate at the same time for the same lesson, and you both have to get it before there would be any reunion. And if you're in inner turmoil and you haven't found that lesson within yourself, and I don't care even where you're at in the mission, I don't care how much personal work you've done, if you did not complete this lesson with your twin flame, you will be rerouted from now until eternity until you come back and deal and handle what this primary lesson is. Okay? And I'm going to share someone that I've been working with on this, and share with you her message she sent me, because I've been teaching my clients how to get out of this twin flame corner, to deal with it, to find the inner stillness, the inner peace, so that they can get out of the maze of their life to keep moving forward without having to be rerouted to still learn that lesson that you chose to learn. And so in addition to that, number 2 is you got to find this inner stillness. You got to come to terms with that peace within. Because as long as you're still hung up on the resistance within you, and the battle and the turmoil of the outcome and the story, and you're creating this inner battle, that inner resistance is going to create resistance with your other half that's going to keep the dynamic in turmoil. And then you're going to feel it, they're going to feel it, we're all going to feel it, because we're all doing this collectively. And so the way to get through this and beyond this and to find this inner stillness within yourself is to make peace inside. And I got to tell you, everything, there's nothing I teach I haven't been through. So I've been through this process, and I felt when I went through it, it was like this inner, flag that was a white flag that really just flew up the flag and said, I surrender. I'm at peace. And I was at peace. I thought I was at peace anyway. But I think what my redirection was definitely back to this lesson, and definitely back to go speak, and definitely back to reach out, and definitely back to share, and definitely back to face some resistance of even reaching out and finishing some healing with the twin, and that has been accomplished, done, and I've never felt freer in my life. And I also knew when it happened that it was also the blueprint to teach others, as I do, of how to get out of this corner, how to get out of the maze. So I want to just clarify, the corner is with your twin, where you're learning the major life lesson. The maze is where you're trying to move on with your life, and everything blocks you and shuts you down and sends you back to the twin flame until you complete that lesson. So I want to be very clear in that so you understand the terminology I'm speaking of here. And so you've got to find this inner resistance releasing, and that's finding the energy within come into a status of this harmonic balance. And you can't fake energy, as I've said before. So it's an energetic polarity inside of you that is where it's a piece of it is you're reversing your roles with your twin. And most of the time the divine feminine has been more masculine and controlling, and the doers and the fixers, and the divine masculine have been weak in their feminine side, and they don't know how to express or love or feel or receive. And those old paradigms have fit in a way that don't create the new model of our new inner identities, of this new balance of us divine feminines becoming the goddesses and the divine masculines becoming the warriors. And so that's what all this big shift's about, pulling it apart, creating the inner harmony, and coming back and reharmonizing. And so this last piece I'm talking about, finding this inner stillness and letting go of the resistance, is about harmonizing within yourself to have done your inner role reversal of your masculine and feminine energies within, so that they're in balance, so that you feel at peace, you feel at harmony, and you can do things like stop focusing on outcome of reaching out, stop focusing on how you're, a lot of times, I let go of this a long time ago, but I did experience this, and they're afraid to move forward, they're afraid to reach out, they're afraid of the twin flames response to their doing things, and they're also haven't let go of the story because they're afraid if they do it again, it's going to be the same response as before, when in reality we're in a new energy and we got to release the stories, and now we're actually being represented these even with the twin flame, especially as we go through this Lionsgate portal coming up here that's opening at the end of July into August. It's about this inner stillness within and the harmony within, and then the harmony even into your 3D reality. And it's not about reunion. This has nothing to do with reunion right here I'm talking about. It has to do with completing your ability to do your inner work, being sent back to your twin, to come into a place of you got the lessons and you found your way home and you found inner peace and happiness. And that's what inner stillness is, the being able to come to a place of no resistance of the outcomes, but you've also finished and finalized the lesson of being in the corner because you've identified what that lesson was and you got your part in it. And I want to tell you, even from experience, what this meant. When I got my part in it, I didn't even know there was anything left to release. And this has been very recently. And it shifted a whole lot of stuff down to the retreat that I'm doing coming up here in August that relates to a space that him and I were working on, that this retreat's in this space, and me reaching out and let him know I was doing this retreat and that it's to come home and go that space basically. And, you know, just in case you haven't paid attention, known, I'm doing a retreat here in St. Louis. It's a live retreat. People have asked me. The link will be below. It's phenomenal. It's going to help awaken your blueprint. It's going to help, if this being one of your objectives, help you identify what this particular block is so you can find that inner peace and stillness so that you can move forward with your new identity. And in addition to that, activate your highest light, activate, you know, through energy transmissions and activations and any final veil removal to be able to go forward in a new earth in a new way. So anyway, the link will be below for all the details. It's very powerful, and it links to my own twin flame journey, and it links to my full circle, and it links to this message that I'm sharing with you today. And so when, you know, as I was about to say, when you reach out, you know, even doing that, it wasn't about the outcome of him allowing the retreat in this particular space or not. It was about the idea that I had a resistance to even asking him. And it wasn't me from ahead asking him to have it. It was the retreat wanted to be there. And it's a long story as to how and why. And I won't share that here. And I might share it sometime in another video, or it's definitely going to be, you know, written about my journey of that. Point being, I had to release any stories wrapped around anything with the past. I also had to release the outcome. And I also got to tell you, it was the most liberated in my life. And I created another new blueprint to understand, to teach people how to get out of the maze and to teach them how to get out of the corner. And when this all happened, just before I even went to do this and knowing that was coming, the white flag went up inside. And it was the most liberating thing I've experienced in my life. And that's, again, just been in the last few months. So, or a couple months probably. So number 3. Ask, listen, and allow. So asking would be, I'm going to give you for this example, it'd be anything you need, but asking your guides and your higher self to show you and reveal to you what is causing the turmoil, what is blocking you, what is the major life lesson, like asking to awaken to the hidden peace within you that you're not seeing so you can bring it to your light and that you can shed light on it. And now, you know, that 75% of it, the transmitting and transmuting of it is to identify it. And the minute you do, it's basically done. And so the second part of that, of the listen, is really paying attention to your inner self. What are your needs? How do you feel? What's going to make you happy? What's going to give you peace? What's going to give you power? And then taking the actions that you do based on how you feel within and listening. And then if you also you're going to ask for that information, listen to the answers. Expect things to show up to share that, but to know that those things won't necessarily, when you come into full trust, be all your external answers and your signs and codes anymore. They're going to be your inner knowing, your inner feeling of, I'm in power now. I might ask for clarity, I might ask for direction, and I might ask for confirmation. But I do not need to ask if I need to do the action of following through with something that I need to do. That's the difference. Now, on the allowing part, it's kind of a little bit of how it really means allowing yourself to receive. And every area, abundance is all around you. You're really just not receiving it. And I just recently had somebody ask me to share more about on this concept of how to receive. So, Lumella, here you are. She works with Twin Flames. She probably saw me do an interview with her. She was wanting to know more about how to receive. Well, first of all, I would tell you everything leading up to what I've said is a prerequisite to get you to receive at your fullest ability, because coming into that inner peace and that inner stillness and that inner turmoil brings you into more centeredness within yourself. And that when you come into the centeredness and, you know, learning how to, we've been loving and now it's how to receive love, but then also that love represents abundance of everything around us. It's just everything we love now. It's, you know, it could be finances, it could be career, job, mission, a lover, the list goes on. But to receive that, what we have to really do is be open to allow it to come in. And most of the time, people are still stuck in the stories, stuck in the outcome and the fear of the future, which is why they won't allow it to come in. Because if they're afraid that it will repeat a pattern of the past, so it's sitting there with the walls up. So you've got to let those walls down in order to receive. But in addition to that, you have to find the gratitude for where you're at, even within the lack of peace. Meaning you got to be grateful for where you are. You got to be grateful for the lesson. You got to be grateful for your twin flame at the end of the day, even to find the purest of inner peace within you. You know, and all of this is bringing, as I bring this full circle for this video, all of this is about discovering you, your identity. But as we go forward in this new earth, a new beginning, and moving forward in a new way, it's basically discovering, what do you truly want? What do you desire? What is it going to look like? And most importantly, for you to choose to move beyond your twin flame journey in a new way. Okay? So, much love to you. I want to share with you, my birthday is coming up on Saturday, and my son's birthday, which is also a twin flame, is coming up on Friday, tomorrow. And I'm going to be celebrating with my entire family, all but my daughter and her family is the only ones I don't think is going to be there. And it's going to be a family gathering that has not been together, this many family members, and I don't even know when. It's basically the entire family I have, because we have kind of a small family. And when I was preparing this morning, and it's still morning, but earlier this morning, for today's message for you guys, because as always, I didn't even know what today's message would be, but I was guided that to celebrate my birthday, because of this being full circle for me and full peace, full serenity, full going forward. I can't even tell you again what I feel from this, of this no resistance in every area of my life, and it all coming full circle at the same time. But anyway, to celebrate with me, I'm going to offer you a coupon for a visit, for a soul session with me. There'll be a link for the soul session below. You can actually schedule it anytime, but the session has to be booked by August 31st. So this link will be good through the month of August for also like the Lionsgate and kind of like the Leo season and my birthday, which is also with the August 8th portal, is the new universal timeline of the universal cosmic birthday of a new beginning. So as we go forward with everything ramped us up to this, the portal is going to be perfect for everything to come together. So it is a session that is, I honestly don't remember like offhand how much it is. It's either $50 off or $55 off or something to that effect, okay? So, but you'll get the link below and you can book and schedule that. It's a 60-minute soul session with me reading. I think it even includes a little bit of an energy portion that I don't normally do in that particular session. But basically, when I work with anyone, we do what needs to get done, and we just dive in there and identify. Maybe if, and this just came through, maybe if you are looking to identify what this major lesson is between you and your twin flame, and you're wanting to find, and as I'm saying this, I didn't even know this was it, but I got a feeling this is a piece of it because it's a big deal. If you got this inner battle going on and you're trying to find peace and you're so blocked and you're stuck in the corner and you're trapped from going forward, maybe this is the time to reach out in order for me to help you with some of these new tools and resources I have. And oh my gosh, I did not read I just realized I did not read the message for you from I said I would come back full circle and read for you. This is so important. I'm going to go ahead and do this. So I sent her some information on how to get out of the corner, and basically she said, I read the document, how to get out of the corner. What's for sure that is that he is teaching me the biggest lesson I choose here in my mission, and for my biggest lesson, that is narcissism and how to deal with it. And I found the key, and there was a key, it was the missing link. The key was the final lesson that we were looking for to get her out of the corner. So never fight or discuss with a narcissist. It's only giving them bullets to shoot you down. So what she's meaning by that is resistance equals resistance. If you're giving resistance to them, even on an energetic level, you're getting resistance back. So don't fight that inner battle. Don't struggle with that. So she said, so he had been contacting her in order to do some old patterns, and she was not willing to go into the old patterns of the narcissism, and it was all about the old patterns. So she says, I gave him my new rules, and if he wants to communicate with me, he has to follow these new rules. And so get this, she's speaking without having to think about what he thinks about these rules, right? Not worried about outcome, not worried about the past story. It's where she is now and stepping into that from where she is and standing in her truth and setting the boundary. And so rule number 1 is he knows my weaknesses and I know his weaknesses, and those are treated with respect. Rule number 2 is that it's up to me what questions I'm going to answer, but he stays closed. And so if I'm just trying to make sure I understand her question here, or her wording here. So if it's up to her what questions she will answer when he asks her specific things, and that if he continues to stay closed, she's going to stay closed. And she's giving him that rule on up front. But if he'll stay open, she'll stay open to answering. Rule number 3, that he's free to ask him for advice, but he has to clean up his own shit. Rule number 4 is that basically, I want to tell you what that means. She's not going to give him advice on how to clean it up if he's not going to take action after he asks for how. Okay? Rule number 4 is that the past is over and we're not looking back. And I'm a different person now, and I'm not going back into the old person and the old patterns. And so he agreed to the new rules, and we're still communicating. And she said, so I don't feel like I need him anymore to feel happy or feel at peace. I can feel that I'm free, and that step by step, I'm going to explain to him that everything that's done to make me happy in my life and how I am living my life in happiness. He's still in the same place on those low frequencies, and I can feel how strong I am even though he's in the lower frequencies. Now, this is important. It's because she's holding her pattern. She's holding where she's at. She's not dipping into his energy or allowing it. And she's doing it in a loving way. Here's the key. She had been resisting, reaching out, following up, going through it, and doing it again. But she had to let go of the old story. She had to face the fear. She was in the maze of rerouted back to him until she faced him for the final lesson that I'm talking about. And so basically, I can feel how strong... let's see, I pick up. I said it took her 3 years to clean up her karma that was between them, and it's really over, and I'm not going to create new karma between us. His coming back is definitely my final lesson, to let go of it with an ease and grace this time, and to choose peace and love. And this is my response. Oh my God, this is truly amazing. And I felt that reaching out a little differently in the situation myself, but I had the same idea that if I did so, it would raise that inner white flag inside of me, and that would resonate my own internal peace into my external reality, and I've been liberated ever since. And I know that the way that you handled this is the blueprint for how to be free to love in a new way. And so there you go. All right. So make sure to like, comment, share the shine, subscribe, check out the link for the soul chat if you're needing any assistance getting out of the corner, and make sure to check out the retreat, and it's going to be amazing. So loads of love. I'll see you next week. Namaste.